Welcome to Hangout with Mercy, where we have real conversations about teenagers, parents, and real family. Mercy Roland, your host. Today, we are going to be talking about a very interesting topic, and the topic is bullying among teenagers. It happens in the school, it can happen at home, even in our churches. So, bullying is something that every parent needs to pay attention to because a child that is being bullied, the effects can stay in that child longer than we expect. On the show today, I have a guest with me who has been working with teenagers for a couple of years. I have with me Mrs. Olubumi Adebisi, a secondary school teacher in Ekwa Secondary School in Akure. Welcome on the show today, ma.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Olubumi, I'm aware that you have close relationship with teenagers based on the job that you do.
Yes.
Ma, please, on the subject matter of bullying, can you please explain to us what bullying really means?
Bullying is just an act of forcing yourself on others. That's just it. When you force yourself, it's not what they way to do, but being act of forcing yourself on others now that they have to do what you command them to do. So in that case, there is nothing to describe bullying apart from being forcing yourself on others.
Thank you. We can see that bullying, what we call bullying, it's something that can happen anywhere because it's an act of forcing yourself on others. And if I may ask, ma, why would a teenager want to force his or herself on others?
They may wish to do that to gain respect from others. They may discover that you didn't respect them enough. How can I do this? Let me force myself on them so that they can see me as a boss lady. So they will respect me when I do something that it feel like is normal, which in a way you are forcing yourself on them. The background too, it matters. When there is no love from a home, so there is nothing you should expect from a child that doesn't feel love, even from home. You cannot expect more or for them to do more than what they experience in their various homes. So you cannot expect them to love others out there when the love is not from home. So what they don't have, they can't give.
What a child do not have, a child cannot give. And what a child has is something the child has gotten from his or her home. So for a child that bullies in school, we can hear clearly that it is as a result of what the child is already used to. A child that is not being loved cannot get to school or in the church and start giving love. So ma, you agree with me that this still boils down to parenting?
Yes, exactly. It starts from home.
It starts from home?
Yes.
All right. So what do you think parents can actually do?
The major thing is that parents should show love to their children. When you show love, grow with them, create an atmosphere of friendship with them. Be their friend, not just ordinary friend. A friend that they can be able to relate anything with. You don't shut them when they talk. Give them an atmosphere to talk, to relate with them as if you are mates, you are age mates. So when you give them that platform now, they will be able to relate anything with you. They will be able to talk to you on any matters. Then when they now do that, now if you now see that they are talking out of what to expect, that is why you are there as a parent, as a father, as a mother, to correct them. Give them room to talk. Let them have their own voice. Don't shut them.
Let your kids, your teenagers, have their own voice. Don't shut them. Whenever they want to tell you a certain thing, or whenever you see that they want to express themselves, allow them to fully express themselves, rather than you trying to make them feel like they are not important. Because by so doing, you start bullying them.
Exactly.
And ma, I'd like to know, are there different ways of bullying?
Yes.
Please, can you explain to us?
You can bully a child, or you can bully your friend. Let me put it that way, since we are talking about teenagers.
Yes.
In a verbal way, as we are talking now, calling them names is a kind of bullying. There is something that we call social bullying, cyber bullying, physical bullying, when you push. Then I used to say that when you play, when you are playing with your friend and the person is like, I'm not in the mood, don't play with me. In that case, respect that person, then you walk away. But when you still continue to pressure that person, still repeating the same thing, even out of telling you that I don't like it, you still continue to do it, then you are doing a kind of a bullying to that person. Because he has made himself or herself known that he's not in the mood for play. Then you respect that by walk away from such a person.
All right. That means we have different ways by which we bully that we don't even know. So it's not only by physical, it's not only by eating. And of course, we need to also understand that we need to teach our children, we need to teach our teenagers boundaries. In a situation where they find themselves in school and someone is saying, oh, I'm not in the mood to play, please, can you allow me? And you're forcing yourself on that person. By doing that, you're already bullying. You are invading the space of that person. And most teenagers do that because they don't even understand that you have to respect boundary. And so when we are even talking about bullying, parents need to also understand that we need to teach our children boundary, and we need to let them understand that when you go beyond your boundaries, sometimes in the course of that, you might just be bullying another person.
Yes.
I want to ask further, how will a parent even know that my child is being bullied? How would they know? Since they don't follow the child to school, how would they know?
It's possible you experience unnecessary quietness.
Unnecessary quietness.
Yes. You just see them that they withdraw. Even if you talk to them, the way they will react to you, you discover that something is going on. And that is why you have to be their friend. You won't notice this unless you are close to them. So when you talk to them, you now discover that the way they relate with you is not like before. Then you know that something is happening somewhere. Then another thing is that through their academics performance, you can know that a child that has been brilliant, that is extraordinary out there, then you discover that drastically it's just dropping like that. Then you can create a conversation. What is going on? Definitely something is going on somewhere. You should understand your children. You should understand your own children,
like
to the extent
yes. You should be able to understand.
So you should be able to understand it. At least I think I have one experience then. When my child got a result, immediately I received that result, I said this is not a result. Then I take a step to go and meet with the teacher. What can cause this? And the woman started explaining some things to me which I don't know. So it is from that conversation that I get to know that something is going on. Then when I return back home, I asked her what is going on, and she said, mommy, this, and she started talking. And I said, okay, in that case, then I try to encourage her to build her again. If these things happen, when you ask your teacher a question and the teacher is asking you a kind of a question, where were you when I was discussing this thing? Still raise your hand again, or you go back to that teacher now after the class. Then the teacher will still explain to you. Then if the teacher now reacts in another way, now just come home, come and tell me, then I will know how to handle it from that place.
So when we discover that there's a problem there's a pattern that is not the pattern that your child is used to, you should know that something is wrong somewhere, because sometimes when a child is being withdrawn, it might be as a result of bullying in school. So when you notice maybe a child is becoming more quiet than the way they were before, please, you have to pay attention. You have to ask questions. You have to investigate, like Mrs. Olubomi did. When the child came up with a result and she wasn't comfortable with it, she investigated, and at the end of the day, she was able to help the child to shaping the life of the child back. And Ma, please, I like to also understand, at what extent can bullying affect a teenager? At what extent?
I would say it's possible it have a short time effect and long term effect, depending on the way it is being handled by the parents or by the person being reported to, as at the time that thing is happening or when it happens. So it can cause a permanent damage if care is not taken.
Oh my God.
So
it can actually cause a permanent damage. Bullying can live with a child. The effects of bullying, can live with a child to their adulthood. And that's why you see that is a very, very important topic that we need to talk about. It's something that we need we need to be conscious about. It's something that we need to look out for, because the effects of bullying on either a boy child or a girl child can be what will affect them in the future. And that's why we have to take step now. If we begin to see these signs, we quickly attend to them so that it will not affect them in the future. Ma, I have often heard some parents saying that when they even want to apply open communication with their teenagers, either the boy child or the girl child, that they often have some certain child that don't even want to talk at all, no matter what they do.
Yes, we have.
How do we categorize those teenagers and what can we do?
On a good day, we have two kind of people.
Okay.
We have those that can talk very well. We call them extroverts.
Okay.
Then we have introverts. Those that is their way of life. That is the way their own God creates them. They don't stop. Even if they want to talk, it will be as if they are using the whole of their energy to explain that thing to you. So in such a case, you don't still need to just leave them that is their own way of life. No. You still make sure you are present in the life of that child. Let the child know that you are there. Even that's why you need to understand them. You need to understand your own child. At least the child is from you, is from your home. You are the one that give birth right from the one. You should be able to study them, to know the kind of a child that you have. Not that that's his own way of life or our own way of life. Leave them alone. No. Just make sure you are present in their life with what they need and what you think you can give them that will make them to be your friend. That's why I said that you create an atmosphere of being a friend with them. A friend in a way that they will understand that, okay, no, she's my friend no matter what. So even as an introvert, they still have friend. That's what I want you to know. They have friend and they communicate with them. So you need to understand them in their own way. Then you grow with them. You nurture them in a way that they will be able to understand you. Being an introvert doesn't mean that they should not talk to you as a parent. So you play your own part in their life. Let them know that you are there. Be present in whatever things that they are doing so that they can be able to grow. And even out of that, you can help them to build and to come out of being introvert. Not that they should be saucy when they are talking. No. But at least you help them to grow in a bit that they will come out of being an introvert. Then they can be able to speak for themselves.
Wow. That's a very fantastic response. So that takes us to the fact that parents need to understand the children's temperaments. You need to be able to know if your child is extrovert or an introvert. And however the case may be, we are there as parents to help them become the better version of their lives. So that means even if you have a child that is either introvert or extrovert, you can still support them so that they can be better.
Yes.
However, this will allow you to be able to know what is affecting them at different levels of their life. And by the time you understand what they are going through, you will be able to take drastic action so that the effect of what they are going through at a particular stage is not taking over their future. And that's why we are parents. And I say in most of my shows that for parenting, you have to be intentional. All right, that takes us to Ma. I have also noticed that a teenager that is affected or a child that is affected either in school, either in church, and the child is probably watching this show, Ma, what can they do?
They have so many things to do, but the most one that I will encourage them to do is that they should speak up. Whenever you are experiencing that, don't keep to yourself. Say it out. You don't keep to yourself. When you keep to yourself, you can't get up. When they ask you what's wrong with you, you said nothing. There is no how I can enter into your mind and know what is happening unless you open your mouth and talk. And that's why you have to build a relationship, a kind of a friendship. Because if you are not their friend, they won't be able to trust you.
They can't talk to you.
So in that case, build friendship with them. Let them be your friend. Let them trust you with anything. Then in that case, they will be able to speak whatever they find themselves so that you can be of help to them.
All right. For us to address this matter, it boils down to open communication. From the parents, you have to know how to open conversation with either your kids or with your teenager. And for every teenager out there, please speak up. When you are being bullied, or when someone is manipulating your mind, or when somebody is verbally bullying you, please speak up. Look for that trusted person you can talk to. Don't allow that thing to bottle up in your mind and start affecting your academics, or start making you to withdraw and start affecting your esteem. I'd like you to please always speak up. Every time, don't feel like, oh, if I talk about this now, they would think that. No, just speak up, express yourself. Because in speaking up, you find solution. In speaking up, you are coming out of a burden and you are getting better. Okay, ma, I like to ask, for schools out there, primary school, secondary school, even a tertiary institution, what is your advice to them on bullying?
So I would try to advise that they should create an anti-bullying society. Then the school should give the students and the pupils the atmosphere of relating with their teacher in a well-mannered way, so that they can be able to report whatever things that they discover that is bothering them. Even some of them will have an issue from home that they cannot discuss with their parents. But when they are free with their teachers, they will be able to go to any of that teacher and tell them that this is what is happening to me. And the teacher will be able to give a good advice that will assist them, so that they will be able to come out of that thing and it will be of help to them.
Thank you. I would like us to also look into how we usually bully our children at home that we don't know. But we'll take a break now, so that after the break, you can hear from our guest. All right. We sometimes, even as parents, will bully our children and we don't know. At home, there are some certain things that we do that we don't have the knowledge that they have effects on our children. I like us to know that we say something bad to them. That thing that we are saying that is bad has created a seed. It's like you are planting a seed in them. And when you plant that seed, it starts germinating. And that's where you start seeing that they are withdrawing. They are looking for a mother outside. They are looking for father outside. Because you have created a vacuum inside their hearts. And because of that vacuum that you have created, it is natural for them to want to fill the vacuum. Ma, please, can you explain to us some things that we probably do at home that we don't think that can actually affect these young ones? Are there one or two you would like to mention?
Yes. At times we do talk, and we just say that it's just a talk, but it goes beyond where we say it. In a case where maybe a child behaves irrationally that you do not expect him or her to behave in that way, and the next thing, instead of you to correct, the next thing is to call such a child names. We know what to call them. So instead of that, desist from doing that as a parent. Then encourage them now. Like I said when we were discussing the other time, that what you don't have, you can't give. Love them. Correct with love. We don't correct with anger. You don't correct, you can correct with rod. That's what the Bible says, yes. But at the same time, even when you are using that rod now, you still use it with love, not to kill them. Let them know the reason why you are doing that. So even if you have to talk to them, if you have to correct them at home, correct them with love, not with an abusive words that will continue to mountain in their hearts. At the end of the day, it can lead them to become what they do not even plan for. So as a parent now, mind the word that you speak to your children at home, so that they will be able to handle it, and it will help them in future.
As a parent, mind your words. Your words are powerful and they are said. I also know that, maybe let me explain. I also know that apart from seeing someone physically and the person is being bullied, and also, we have physical bullying when you have to eat one another, enforce yourself on one another, and verbally, verbal one, which is emotional, that we have social. Is there anything like, I know we might not be able to talk much on that, but I just wanted us to mention it. Is there anything like technical, maybe like online bullying, cyber bullying? Yes. Can you please just throw a little light on that?
There is something like that. It is commonly called cyberbullying. In that case, that is where you see somebody that sent a kind of a message concerning a person that maybe is not right. Or even if it is right, at least, okay, let's take for example that I trust you as a friend. I try to explain some of my parts to you, that this is what I'm passing through, this is what is happening to me. Then there is a kind of a brief now between us. Then the next thing that you can come up with is what I discussed with you, just to create a kind of an anger or spear up an anger. So in that case now, you are not even creating the atmosphere of not being friendship with that person now. You are bullying that person in a way that if care is not taken, the person might regret for his or her lifetime.
And can that also take some individual into depression?
Yes. Bullying can cause lifetime depression. I said it the other time that if the parent doesn't know how to undo it, it can degenerate, that the person will not get him or herself throughout his or her lifetime. And that is why we see some adults today, they still behave in a way that we ourselves will look at it that why is this person doing like this? And he's an adult. Don't blame that person. Look at the background. What has happened before?
And as we know that we have to provide a safe space for our younger ones, to allow them to come out of their shell and help them to be the best version of themselves. On this show today, I want to say thank you, Mrs. Olubumi Adebisi. Thank you for coming on this show. And our viewers out there, I want to say thank you for watching. See you next time on another episode of Hangout with Mercy.